Hi, my name is Alison Mokaro, the Zadi of Benin. And right now, I'm at the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Tourism here in Edo State. And I'm here to have an interview with the Commissioner for Arts, Culture and Tourism. I know you like my brother. Yes, it was done by Decent Culture. So now, I'm going to have the interview with the Commissioner for Arts, Culture and Tourism here in Edo State. So please, come with me. I got your know what to I tell you go thank God. But look at us after all they did to bro. So I lie still on us, way to patch a car. You green away on my green book. Let him be canal and take a mosque. I think I just again where he capisson. To Baloli what I say Babylon.
Welcome to my office. How are you?
Thank you for
having me. Are you Zadi of another Benin?
No, just Zadi of Benin.
So you're Zadi of some other
No, I'm Zadi of Benin.
One moment, you didn't know what's up, you can let's wait for that. I'm just know you come up,
Once again, thank you for having me, man.
My pleasure.
And then please, for the people watching that don't know you, please can you introduce yourself?
Okay. I'm sure they know my face now. So yeah, I'm Uyi Oduwa Malaka, Honorable Commissioner for Arts, Culture and Tourism, Edo State.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
So please, ma, for
Zadi, why are you being so formal? You met with me before.
But this is an interview now.
Okay. All right, go on.
Yeah, thank you. So can you explain your ministry?
Okay, so the Edo State government has its after our institutional reforms, we place the mandate for policy formulation, regulation, and supervision on the ministry. Okay. So this Ministry of Arts, Culture and Tourism, it also has the diaspora affairs under it. What we do here is to formulate all policies with regards to our arts and culture space, our heritage space, our tourism space, entertainment, and also the diaspora. So a lot of the activities that happen in the creative sector in Edo State is actually under this ministry. This ministry also looks after, looks after every affair relating to our entertainment space. So whether it be with comedians, music stars, or all of them coming into this place, and the fine and applied artists, all of them are under this ministry. It also houses the tourism space, but right now we do have an agency which also operates as part of the ministry. So it's all properly structured in that order.
Okay, so again, thank you. So the first question I want to be asking is about Akenzuwa Cultural Center.
Okay. That's such a lovely start, because you see, that's at the center of what we are trying to achieve in the cultural space in Edo State. Where the Akenzuwa Cultural Center sits is a very precious piece of land to us. So it's a big part of our heritage as Edos. And many people do not even realize that used to be the harem, where the wives and the Olois used to stay in the olden days. Mm-hmm. So before the Benin massacre happened that destroyed our palace and all the grounds around there, that was the harem to the palace. So it's a very sacred piece of land. And Akenzuwa is the platform from which we can promote a lot of our cultural creativity in Edo State. Up till now, you would have noticed that there were a lot of theater productions going on there live. People could go into Akenzuwa and watch live theater on stage, drama pieces and all of that were coming to Edo State through the Akenzuwa Cultural Center. But in the recent times, because it's part of the cultural district, which looks at the whole area around the ring road, even up to this end, towards the Oba Palace and beyond,
and down to
Igu, that whole space is now our cultural district. And Akenzuwa Cultural Center is a very important part of the cultural district. So what we've done now is we need to bring it up to that standard again. So there will be renovations happening there very shortly. Evictions have happened already, so the space is open and empty now, and renovations will begin to happen because we're looking at a lot of we're driving film production to Edo State, and we do need spaces like that to be able to showcase these pieces of theater that we're trying to promote. Oba Kenzwa also, because of the cultural significance of that space. And we didn't just, as a state government, we didn't just think that it was somewhere for, to be used as just a dropout center. So we're trying to upgrade the standard. If you look at that piece, and if you look at the Oba Kenzwa Center very well, the designer of that place, Mr. Nwoko, actually designed Oba Kenzwa in such a way that it will serve as a green space. So you do not even, it has provision for natural lighting. And even in the way that it was built, it's just a reflection of our heritage as Edo people. So it's a very important part of what we are doing in the cultural district, and that's why you see that work is about to begin there for that purpose.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You mentioned Igun just now. So I want to ask, what are the plans of your ministry for Igun and the bronze casters?
You cannot talk about Edo, you cannot talk about Benin without mentioning the bronze.
Sure.
So the Benin bronze has taken us far, far beyond where most arts have gone. If you look at our bronze, even the very process, the technique of its creation is something that we need to preserve as a very, very critical part of our own heritage. So the Benin Bronze Guild is resident at Igun. If you go to Igun Street now, you begin to see pharmacy here, some unrelated businesses in Igun Street.
The railway transport
company just at the entrance to Igun Street. So these are not things that reflect our heritage in the actual sense that we want it reflected. Igun Street for us, for Edo people, the Bronze Guild is one of our most prized possessions. So Edo State government has looked into all of that, and if you notice, the streets have been paved. All of this was a part of the design to remodel Igun Street completely and have it as a major tourist attraction for us, because that is a space where we have managed to preserve the culture that is very, very, that has been one of our unique selling points. So there's no way I'm wearing a bronze head here right now. When you talk about Igun Street, you begin to see the Festac head. Many people will represent Igun and say, "Oh, that the Festac head, the bronze." Yeah. The casting that has been done there has been going on for generations. And what we are seeing recently is that most of the families that started it do not have successors. So the focus of the state government now at Igun Street is to attract investment into Igun, partnering with the government, and then we'll be able to remodel Igun Street and bring back those processes that we used then. So we don't want to lose that part of our heritage, but we want to still be able to create better ways of having the bronze. If you look around, even in my office space now, you're going to see a lot of bronze work. They are from Igun Street. Tourists are coming into Edo every time, and all they want to see is even just to visit Igun Street, because they've heard so much about Igun. And then, it's always so disappointing when they get there and it's not what they would have envisioned. If you go to art places around the world, you will see that even if it's a stool that one of the great artists sat, people come there to look at it.
Yes.
We are not, when we go to Igun, we are not only selling our bronze works, we are able to sell a part of our history. We're able to sell a part of the process that they go through to produce just one piece of bronze. It's not something that you learn in a day. It's gone through, it's stood the test of time. So the state government is going to, assist in preserving that part of our own heritage.
That's a wonderful idea.
Yeah, thank you.
You made mention of Benin Cultural District.
So let me even tell you something. We're actually working with the guild now at Igun Street to remodel the space. So they're working very closely with government. We've had talks, we've had series of meetings in that direction, and it's all towards repositioning Igun to that kind of place.
Okay. The Benin Cultural District.
Yes.
Can you pinpoint the exact location and what it involves around the city center?
Okay. So I just mentioned Igun Street now. I've mentioned the Oba Kenzwa Hall. If you go to Ezoti, you see there is a masterpiece that's currently being built there, the Museum of West African Arts, the MOA, the pavilion. That pavilion is going to be an institute for research and training in arts and all the creative space for Edo State. The MOA sits on, it's very interesting. I'd like to take you back to the journey so you can see why Mr. Governor, in his own very visionary way of doing things, likes to position certain places at certain locations. So the ground where the Museum of West African Arts is being built is the ground that housed our old palace. Yeah, you see, you didn't know that.
I didn't know.
You see, yeah. So most of us Edos don't even know that, and that was it was around that space that the Benin massacre that you hear about happened. Yes, the invasion, that was where it happened, and then palace was brought down. All the atrocities that happened there, we don't want to recount that very sad moment of our history, but that space is going to be part of the cultural district. That's why the MOA is actually being built there, so that we can retain that sacred nature of that piece of land there, right in the middle of the city. How significant can that be? Sometimes when you go to tourist places, you see that they are far away, but we are lucky we have ours right in the middle of the city. The space all the way down Ezoti, our moats all around, the Oba Palace, even the Oba Market space, all those areas, Sapler Road, down to the Secretariat here. Yeah, these all form part of the cultural district. So by the time it's finished, this whole space will have a new look, and where it's expected that by the time even the MOA is completed, it will be attracting close to about 30,000 jobs.
Wow.
Yes, through the MOA. So that whole space forms part of the cultural district. So by the time, beneath that area where we now say Ring Road was part of the King Square.
Yeah.
So this whole area is part of the square. So we're trying to preserve the King Square so that when people come in, there are certain parts that will be motorable. So you have very vehicular, movement, but some will now have to be non-vehicular. So sometimes you go to some of these tourist attractions across the world, and then there are areas where you cannot drive in.
Yeah.
It's now you have to go as pedestrians or just cycling paths that will be there. If you even look now, if you see the Ring Road, the museum, people motorists are constantly driving into the fence, so that's unsafe. We've done a traffic study around the whole area in the cultural district, and there will be traffic diversions. We are not there yet. We will do proper awareness around that so that people know why we are moving traffic away. The MOA is projected to generate revenue of close to $80 million yearly.
Yearly?
Yeah.
$80 million.
$80 million.
I would have converted I don't think.
Yeah, so that's one of the one of the benefits it's going to bring to the state. MOA is our masterpiece in attracting tourism.
But do you think it will be completed in time?
Oh yeah.
This administration.
Oh yes, of course. Okay, so let me tell you about that. Okay, so there's been a lot of confusion around what's happening there, the museum, a lot of talk around museum artifacts and all of that. But the whole MOA project is in 3 phases.
Okay.
So the first phase, which is already nearing completion now, is the pavilion, which is now going to be the institute for training and research, which I spoke about earlier. So by the time the pavilion is completed, we'll be getting about $80 million a year.
Oh, from just
the pavilion. Okay. Yeah, the pavilion is due for completion in May 2024. So that will come on board and work will, begin in that space. The pavilion is going to attract researchers, scholars, industry experts, art enthusiasts, and other tourists into Benin City. So just imagine the scale of that. So there will be exhibitions. Have you ever heard about the Venice Pavilion? It's the biggest art exhibition in the world. The Venice Pavilion will tour Benin as soon as the MOA is completed. So only the Venice coming in is enough revenue generator for us. Yeah, so people who are operating in the art space will understand what I mean when you say that the Venice pavilion is touring here. So that's a very big thing on our plate. Then the second phase is the rainforest area. Most of our vegetation is the rainforest, and a lot of the places you go now, you don't really see that again because civilization and all of that has taken away some of all these our beautiful trees around us. So what we are trying to do in MOA in the second phase is to recreate the rainforest. As I speak to you, work is already going on there. They're already bringing different species of plants and all of that across the world to in the nursery there. And another thing that's happening, sometimes when you go to if you go to the rural areas, the teak forest, you can't see that anywhere around the city.
No.
So it's going to be a place where people can go and experience how the rainforest actually looks in those times. It's going to have botanical gardens in there where people can come and actually carry out research on plants that existed in the past that are dying. They're actually going extinct, some of them. And when we're talking tourism is not just you coming to look at maybe the infrastructure. Some people do medical tourism, right?
Yeah.
We were very known for using our herbs for medicinal purposes. Some of those plants that were used in those days, we cannot find around anymore. But one of the deliberate efforts through MOA is to bring that all back and be able to regrow those plants so that we do not lose them and they will continue to play a relevant part in our medicine, so that's going to happen in the rainforest area. Also, what's going to happen is that you have an experience of sitting in there almost as if you're in the wild, but it's right in the middle of the city.
Wow.
So there will be a bit of simulations. You'll be hearing sounds, like that, like you're in the deep forest areas.
Technology involved.
There will be true technology. But the interesting part is that, in building the MOA, the earth that was in fact, one of the largest archaeological excavations in recent times happened on the MOA grounds. So we had a team of archaeologists from all across the globe, and I'm talking industry experts coming from Oxford, Yale University, around the globe. coming to our Edo. We hosted a few of them not long ago, and coming to see what we were doing in the archaeological space. So there were excavations there. They found some things beneath the surface level, and some of those things are going to be replaced for display when it's completed. So a lot of work has happened there. The earth used for Moa is from the earth, the ground there. So they didn't bring it different, it was preserved.
I saw a lot of
you saw a lot of it, very good. You've been there. So I always say to people, go there, go and see firsthand, be a part of this history that's been made. It's going to be one of the biggest art center in the world by the time it's done, and the activities will be beyond any of our imagination.
I've always wanted to ask this. It's relating to Moa too, and I know a lot of people want to ask as well.
Yes.
Initially, the name was Moa.
Yes.
Edo Museum for West African Art.
Yes.
What happened? Why did you change from Moa to Moa?
Okay. So do you know that when we began to talk about a museum of West African art, we were looking at it on a small scale. So we said Edo Museum of West African Arts. By the time we started to engage with experts, and they came back and said to us, what you're conceiving here is beyond West Africa. So I think you are limiting yourselves when you say you limit it to a subnational in a country like Nigeria, when what we are seeing on ground already is beyond West Africa. So the expert said to us, by the time this museum is finished, you will refer to it as West Africa. You will use instead Sub-Saharan Africa. So our use of Edo actually limited us. So in the subsequent discussions, the whole idea of taking out the Edo from it so that it doesn't look like it's one small museum in one state in Nigeria. So we wanted it to, assume that center stage in the whole of the world. That was one of the major reasons why the Edo was taken out of it. Yeah.
Okay. And it seems to me this MOA is going to cost a lot of money.
Yes.
So I want to know about the funding. Is it fully funded by the state government? Are they partners? What's going on?
How can Edo State government fund? So what people don't really know is that, you see, the Oyinbo, let me use Oyinbo people, maybe they will understand better when I say, when Oyinbo people say you are stretching the dollar, the governor we have is an expert at stretching the dollar. So most of the things that you see in Edo State, if we don't have money to fund them, where are we going to see that money? Edo is a small state. What we get in, people say federal government is, how much do we get in? So most of the things that you see in Edo are actually the investment guru himself attracting funding from all over the world to build all these things. So some people say, they say people are complaining of no money. You are paying teachers before month end. You are paying pension, you are paying this, you are paying it. We are not owing. Where's the money coming from? So what we are experts at in Edo, and you people have given us that name of even the governor. You say MOU government.
Yes, MOU government.
Do you know what MOU does? MOU is a memorandum of understanding, which means that when you have private sector doing things with you as government, they come to the table with certain terms. The government provides some of that part, the private sector provides some. So government may not bring in financial support or investment into it. We own the land. So we can say, okay, you want to come and invest in Edo, we can give you this land. We will provide security. We will make sure that when you people come in, there is a proper and adequate accommodation for you. There's safe and secure transportation. There is power. We are the only state in Nigeria already doing 24 power. You can see our offices. We call another place. I've been to Federal, some of their offices are not like this. So these are some of the things that happen through an MOU right? So most of the things that we do in Edo State are usually driven through PPP, public-private partnerships. MOA is one of such. We've had so many things happen, and people say MOU delivered Osiomo, MOU delivered Jara Mall. A lot of the things that we are doing here is goodwill. Governor has worked in a lot of spaces. He's driven investment for a lot of people. So when he goes into a space, there are people who believe and trust his investment background enough to say, okay, we will partner with you. So we are actually benefiting from his goodwill in Edo State. That's why we're able to do a lot of the things we do. So MOA is one of such investment that we have attracted into Edo through MOU. So a lot of what you're seeing in MOA is through international donors. There's a trust that looks after MOA, and there was a lot of speculation about how can people who are not Edo come and drive this. Sometimes we even forget that in our very nature as Edo, we have a very diverse state, and that even before Edo became Edo, we were Bendel. So we have people some people that were born and bred here that are not originally Edo but are passionate about Edo. I have met some Igbo people that were born in this Benin city that are more Edo than me. Okay, even though I'm a full born and bred Edo person, so some things like that. Sometimes when we go, we need to partner with experts. So some people help us drive these things. I've seen the way I've sat in rooms where some of these kind of persons speak about what we are trying to do in Edo, and I'm wondering, and this person is not even an Edo by birth. So we have this kind of goodwill here and there, and people that say, oh, they are doing something fantastic in Edo, we want to be a part of it. Since I haven't even been in this office up to 3 months, if I tell you the number of countries, experts from different countries that have come here because of what we are doing in our cultural space in Edo State, you will be amazed. I've had visitors from Europe, America, the UK, Canada, just name it, come in here and they want to partner with Edo State government. That means we must be getting something right. That's what I think. So again, MOA is one of those kind of, we don't have money to fund any project like that if you're leaving it only to Edo.
But is the German government involved in the funding?
Of course.
Okay.
So I won't mention the scale of funding or anything, but I do know that a lot of them have brought in their contributions, financial or non-financial.
Okay.
So funding is not only about money. There's a lot of expertise that comes in.
True. You spoke about the trust that manages the
MOA.
Okay. So I got to find out that the trust involves a board.
Yes, of course.
So please, who are the members of the board?
Okay, so again, I refer to experts, but they are Edo. I'm not in a position to start to call out names for you, but be rest assured that there's more Edo on that board than you can even imagine. Very, very major players in this space are on that board.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay.
So there's this question I want to ask, and I think it's been bothering me because
a lot of things are bothering you, Zadi.
Because growing up in primary and secondary school in Benin, we used to have Edo language.
Yes.
Growing up, and I don't think they do that anymore. So I want to ask, what's the plan of the ministry to work with the Ministry of Education to bring back Edo language in our schools?
Have you been to our schools in the recent times?
No.
Edo language is actually part of our curriculum.
Oh.
Yeah.
You teach Edo language.
Immediately the governor came on board, he brought back language and history.
Wonderful.
Yes.
See, I didn't know
you
that.
didn't know this. You know what I think? I think that we as Edo public should be more proactive in going after this information. So before, I think sometimes when I see comments, I just wonder, Are they even reading? Are they asking questions? So most times there's nothing like a stupid question. So if you ask, you will find that most people just make comments and they don't even have a background, it was maybe 1 or 2 years down the line of the first tenure that Mr. Governor brought back languages and history to our schools. So when we were doing the whole Edo Best and all of that, the first phase of Edo Best, that was when we brought back Edo language in our school. So it's part of our educational curriculum in the state. And also, one of the first programs that this ministry celebrated was the Edo Language Day.
Yes, I saw.
Okay, so that was just another part of going back at our intangible heritage, our language.
Like you said,
yes,
they brought back Edo language in school.
Yes,
How about cultural day?
Oh yeah, we have culture clubs in all the schools in Edo. Particularly, okay, so in Edo you have the public and private school education system running. So most times what people see is that they go to private schools and they say, oh, they are not teaching this, they are not teaching that. We have tried as a government to educate them in the need for bringing back languages and history, but I know there's probably some more enforcement required in that area, because across our public schools there is Edo language being taught and history in schools as well. And one of the major events, one of the first events that we celebrated when we got into office, I think around August, we had the Edo Language Day. Edo Language Day was born out of the report from a research that said that if we don't speak language, that we were going to lose it. So the Edo Language Day was a way of reawakening the consciousness amongst our own people that if you don't speak your language, it's going to go extinct. And some of us are victims of that whole don't speak your language kind of scenario in our homes. And some of us now cannot even speak our own indigenous dialects, and it's even worse for our own children. But an interesting thing that we also found is that this younger generation are making a conscious effort, because they have grown. Most of them have traveled. There's more exposure, so they see what's happening on the creative scene. They see what Nigerian artists are doing all over the world, and there's a new there's a new awakening among our own youth to say, oh, this thing is this. Even the pidgin language that we speak in Nigeria, the people around us in other countries want to learn it. So there's something about this, our intangible heritage, that we have to protect. So our own children are actually making a conscious and deliberate effort to learn the language. Some of them are teaching themselves. So we as a government, what do we do in that space? We must encourage it. So that Edo Language Day was in partnership with some Edo citizens from across the globe and other institutions, and it was just to bring back the consciousness, create an awareness that you need to speak your language, even if for a short period. Say something, greet in your language, say thank you in your language, say bye bye, just learn something about your own language. And we did that across the 3 senatorial districts. We used our e-culture platform in the ministry to drive that program. So we were having viewership from across the world in our 3 senatorial districts in Edo State. So it was a huge success. And from that, so it's not just you organize a program, you want to see something come out of it. So from that, we have also been able to set up, small committees here and there to drive it through our culture platform. We are actually engaging more with the children to make sure that they're, embracing the use of their own language. We're partnering with institutions. There are some institutions that actually do, language studies and all of that. With the University of Benin. The University of Benin just actually did another language day too. So all of this is to promote our own language. It's a critical part of our heritage, and we are doing our best as a state to make sure that we bring all of that on board.
Okay, ma. Please, I want to talk about the Victor Wifo Creative Hub and Entertainment in Edo State.
Okay.
I heard from somebody, and I don't know if it's true, so I want to ask.
Yes.
I heard from somebody that when filmmakers and producers come to Edo State, the government provides them accommodation and logistics for filmmaking. So I want to confirm from you if that's true.
Oh yeah, that actually, so there's a new project, the Edo Film Project. The mandate of the Edo Film Project is to drive film production into Edo, because we have a vision of repositioning Edo as the number one in the country film production hub, number one in that space. And then by 2025, we aim to achieve that. We are currently at number 3 now, so it's not a very far walk for us. We hope that by 2024 we get to number 2, and by 2025 number 1. We cannot achieve that by just verbal proclamations. Okay, so for you to be able to drive that, you have to provide an enabling platform for them to be able to achieve that. So what we have done in Edo State government is to go out. We've partnered with a lot of industry big movers and shakers to say, okay, we want you to come and do your productions in Benin. What would that entail? And most of the feedback that came from them was, oh, if we have accommodation, if we have the logistics with regards to transport, even locations, all of those kind of things, the security, we will come to Edo. So for us as a government that are, setting our eye on that goal, those were, things that we thought that we could provide very easily if we were really, really serious about making Edo number 1. So yes, the state government through the Ministry of Arts, Culture and Tourism, regulates the space and supervises what is done in the Edo Film Project. And we do provide accommodation. We provide the transport that they need to move around. We provide also the security and locations for them. So whatever they ask us to assist with, we try to, make sure that we do that. Right now, we're giving them the accommodation and all of that for free. So yeah, that's correct. That's what we're doing, and they're working very closely with us. Some of them are actually Edo persons themselves. The thing there is, as a ministry, we have to be justifying a lot of the things that we do. So we cannot say that we are driving traffic to Edo and we are providing all these things for you and we're not seeing results. So we actually have also put in we have a checklist and we have the milestones that we must achieve. So we're working on a project 100 where we want to aim for 100 productions in 1 year with a minimum of 70.
Wow.
And all of that on all productions coming into Edo. We've also set a target for 70 to 30%. So 70% Edo participation, and then 30% for the rest of the other people coming into the place. And we are so far bringing, for every, even if it's a small production, you're looking at a budget of between 6 and 10 million. All of that money is coming into the state. They are spending, they are engaging people to even cook for them on the set. Our creative industry with regards to the creative designers are a part of what they're doing. The local makeup artists, all of them are part of that. Even the people building the sets, they are from here. So a lot of that is driving both direct and indirect employment into Edo. So some of the things that we'll see there will be not just in revenue but also in the job creation space.
If you've been following up movies coming out from Edo, you can tell a lot of movies were shot at Okada.
Okay.
Are there any plan to build a movie village in Okada?
Yes, we are planning a movie village, but it's not I don't know if this is the time to disclose that. It's not going to be around that corridor. I can give you. It's not going to be around that corridor. So that's definitely on our plate. We are looking more at the. Let me leave that out now until I don't want to discuss. That's a surprise. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the Victor Wifo Creative Hub.
Yes.
I've been there. I know,
okay, so I don't need to preach to the converted.
Yes, you don't need to. You don't need to. I know what's in there.
Yes.
And there's a full music studio.
Yes.
But
state of the art. Add that part.
Yes, state of the art.
Okay.
But they've not actually been usage of it.
Yes.
You get. I got directly from someone that is into music that it's as if they've been neglected from the entertainment business or sector, because you guys do these things for actors. We provide logistics, provide all that. I also heard that for comedians, you don't tax them for their shows.
No.
So that's true for the comedians.
Yeah, we don't.
The musician.
Okay.
We want to see the next Rema come out from that studio in the Victor Wifo Creative Hub.
That Rema thing just makes my heart so sweet, because every time I look at Rema, I say, "Oh, this guy is actually from Benin, Edo," you know. So it makes me really proud. No, I don't. I think that's a wrong perception, I must say. I've had meetings with all the associations. I'm sure there's no association in the creative space that I haven't met with at this time. And most of what I see is that even they do not have the right information about the operations in that place. So the the Victor Wifo Creative Hub was set up because of the creatives in Edo State. So the vision of His Excellency was, let's create a space where we will, tap the talent from all our creative youth out there. So the Victor Wifo Creative Hub was set up for all the players in the creative space. So why they were not going there, most times when I asked them, most of them did not even know that it existed. Why do I say that? Because every time I'm talking to them, they're looking at me as if I'm saying some things that are not around this space at all. Until I'll tell them, have you been there? Go there and go and see what they're doing there. So yes, I think the reason why they hadn't started using the studio was because they were waiting for, those equipment. We can't get even local people here to. So we were waiting on the experts to come and set them up correctly. Yeah. So I think last month, or even whether there's some of them are still there, and I don't know. I know they were completing some setups, and then probably still more to do. But yeah, I can always have that details across to you. But I know that was the reason why there was delay in using that space. But I took a group of creatives there and they saw the space. We went on a tour around the facility. There was a media parley by the management of the creative hub, and they brought in everyone into their space. They said, look, we have a theater that you could use, we have a hall, we have all these recording studios that can take a full-size choir actually. So some of those things are already operational. And I've said to them, come in that space. That space belongs to you. There's a lot of activity going on there right now. I just left there. There's the creative designers and guild inauguration that happened there today, and brought a lot of creative designers all over Nigeria to that space today. So there's always something happening there now, So my message out there to all the creatives is that you are government. Government shouldn't be on one side and the people on the other side. We all make government. So that space was created by His Excellency to, provide the facility and the platform for you to showcase your talent. Go there where you have, if there are any issues with regards to small payments and all of that, the ministry is open to have discussions around things like that. We've done it and we're still doing it. The government is ready to support the creative industry as best as it can. There's living proof to that already.
Okay, thank you for clearing that.
Yes.
So let's now push to this majorly on tourism.
Yes.
So let's talk more on tourism right now. The Sokomba Resort.
Okay.
For years, the place has been neglected. Beautiful water, blue, just like the one we have in Abraka. Is in Oyo, my local government.
Okay, that's why you're asking.
Yes.
Have you been there?
No.
Why
I
not?
haven't. I have not been there, but I've seen a lot of clips of it.
Okay.
The reason why I've not been there is because it's not functional. Except I just want to go and look at the water. The resource is not functional.
Yes.
So please, I want to know what the plan the government has to bring that place back to life. Even if the government does not want to do it themselves. Like you said, our government is an MOU government. We can, bring their investors.
Okay.
So please.
Okay, so let me start from, I mentioned earlier that we are involved in policy formulation. So one of the things that we have just achieved was the tourism policy. So we have a tourism policy in place right now in the state, and we also have an agency that has been set up to, directly, implement that. So one of the things that we're saying that people complain about some of these heritage sites and all of that have not been utilized to the maximum. Okay, so some of them do require investment into the spaces. So the policy that we've just created is a very rich and robust policy, and it looks at even investment in those spaces. So we are actually in the process of attracting private sector investment into some of our heritage sites right now. I think in the next few weeks you start to hear things happening in that space. I agree with you that it was neglected, and this just happened over time.
Because the commissioner before you saw I think the two commissioners before you.
Yes.
He's from that local government, my local government.
Okay.
He visited the place.
Yes.
And promised us that the government was going to work on it. But up to today, nothing has been done.
Okay. So my predecessor did a lot of work in that area. I don't need to be mentioning names now. He did a lot of work as well. But you know what it is? Government is a continuum. So where he stopped is where the next one picked up. And that's where I am picking up from again. So it's continuous. Sometimes when you go, so that's why I'm careful about mentioning names or mentioning investment in certain areas. Sometimes you could just talk about an investment in an area now, it will drive up the prices.
True.
Right? And people start to struggle for land. Don't forget, everything you see land all around you. This land belongs to families. So sometimes you want to go into this space and then they say, oh, it belongs to this family or it belongs to that family. So there are legal areas that must be tidied before some of these investments happen. Otherwise, you go attract the investment and your money will be sitting in the bank and generating all sorts of expense for you without working. So a lot of these things go into investments around tourism sites as well. But in the state, there's a real focus. So as I said to you, in the next few weeks, you begin to hear some of these things happening.
Because you're making me hopeful right now.
Be hopeful. That's what I mean. The day you stop hoping is the day you die. So yes, be hopeful. There's a lot happening. There's a Radisson Blue coming to Edo State. Yes. It's going to be one of the finest hotels. Nigeria. And even beyond Nigeria. So it is important for us to, when we are bringing in those kind of investment, we are trying to attract tourism into Edo. Okay, the places that they are coming to see, the sites that they're coming to see, the attraction to the state also need to be in good state. So it's all part of a very holistic investment plan for tourism in the state.
Okay, so now let's leave Sakumba on one side. Let's go to Edo North.
Yes.
Ososo.
Yes.
And Igara.
Yes.
These are beautiful, beautiful places with plenty rocks and hills. And this is a lot, because mentioning tourism, we can't mention tourism without mentioning Samuel Ogbemudia.
Yes, of course, yeah. Not just in tourism.
He was also the last person as a governor to visit Ososo Hills. And I heard he even spent a weekend there.
Yes, you used to have meetings there.
Yes. So please, man, what's the plan of your ministry and this current government to bring back? Because the last time we heard of anything or so was when they had Buddha Ultimate Search there. I think it was way back 2000 and something.
Yeah.
So ever since, it's been down. So please, what's the plan of this government and ministry to revive
tourism in those
area?
spaces? So just the way I've talked about the Sakumba and Orion ones, the way it's happening for us also as well, and for Igara. So there was, so when you're talking about tourism, sometimes it's tangible and sometimes it's intangible. So only recently we had the Abba Drum Festival in Igara. I was there myself. I go to these things, and that attracted. I have never seen that sort of traffic
in that place
in one space as I saw in Igara. Okay, so that festival we also used to promote tourism in the state. Okay, so it's a festival that happens once in 7 years.
Ooh.
Yes, and this year, fortunately, we witnessed the 7 years now. Yeah, 7. We witnessed one just when we started, and then another one now. So it's attracted a lot of tourists into Edo State. Again, it's just the way we are addressing the other Sakumba Blue Water that we are addressing also. So that's the way we are addressing Igara. I've been to Ososo myself too, and we did the whole flyover of Ososo, and all of these things is what we are using to showcase. We have a monthly newsletter on tourism. Maybe I'll share that with you through the tourism agency. We have an MD now who looks after that space. Yes. So she's doing a lot of work in that area already, attracting funding. So very soon, we're going to see some investments, major investments in that area. Yeah, we just came back from the retreat, so some of those things were discussed as well.
Because a lot of people watching now will say these are just words.
No. You see, we are sitting in this office. I remember when we came, because I started with Mr. Governor in 2016. So I remember the state of this facility when he did the inspections himself. And we were with him. If you go back and look for those videos, you see all of us running all around trying to see the actual state of the facilities and just what would be needed to bring them back. Who would have thought that in less than how many years this palm house will regain its glory? This was a tourist attraction for us when we were younger.
Yes.
But I know when we came back, I could not even look at it. It used to make me so sad when I looked at Palm House. But look at it now. Even when foreigners come into our offices, they say, wow, I love your workspace. And I'm saying it because I have traveled a lot as well. Some of them don't even have this kind of facilities. So there's nothing like saying that the government, we can't do everything, okay? But there are certain things that we know that are low-hanging fruits. We will deliver that to the Edo people. Those are the things that we promised. We will deliver that, and where we cannot achieve all of it before we leave, there will be something put on ground to begin it. Yeah, so that's the direction of this government. That's what we are trying to do. And people are very fast to criticize, but sometimes I say no, don't be so critical. Also look at the before image and then see where you're coming from, and then look at where you are right now. And this is why I don't know if it's a good time to even mention this is why we should be deliberate about who we are voting for. Do we want to see sustained development? Do we want to go back to how it was before? So we have to be really, really deliberate about who takes over. Maybe it's not the right time to begin to campaign, okay? But I think that it's the right time to begin to reawaken or to, place it in our consciousness that who we vote for, our decision around the next person who takes over must be deliberate, must be well informed. Don't let people present to you empty promises. Look at them. Let us vote based on scorecard. Let me see what you've done. Let me see where you are going. We are talking about 30-year plan in Edo. So when we are talking about what we want to do, we are not talking about now. So in fact, sometimes when I see the young, and this is not being ageist at all, when I see them criticize certain things, I'm looking and saying, all of what His Excellency is doing right now is actually for the benefit of the future. Because we talk about the long term, not here and now. That's the difference in this administration. So when we talk, you may not see it, but you will experience a part of it. Certainly. Yeah.
And thank you for that, man.
Thank you.
And please, I want to talk on Okomu.
Okay. Yes. National Park.
Yes, Okomu National Park. Please, I don't know, does it belong to the state government or the federal government? I'm not talking about the reserve.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the park.
Yes.
Does it belong to the state or the federal government?
You just see, isn't Zaddy funny now, guys? Zaddy just said Okomu National Park and he's asking me if it belongs to the state or to the federal government. What is national, Zaddy? Come on.
This is my bad.
You're bad. Yeah, you take that. Yeah.
Bad.
So, Zaddy, it's a national park. It doesn't belong to the state government, but it is in our state.
Yeah.
So what do? We partner with them. You know, we drive traffic towards Okomu National Park. You know why Okomu National Park is so significant in all of this? Okomu National Park has is it the long-throated monkeys? White-throated monkeys. They are going extinct right now, and we have them here in Okomu. So the state government always provides the needed support for them. It's in our own space, so we encourage tourism to Okomu National Park, but it's not for the state government. No, it's a federal concern.
Okay, that's my bad.
Yes, it's your bad. But and even for allowed down now, we would do some things that will involve Okomu. They support the government as well, so we all work hand in hand.
Okay, so now
collaborations.
Okomu is for the federal government. Let's please, Ogbazu. The last time, there was a time I went to Ogbazu.
Yes.
I paid money for going there.
Yes.
But the lion was sleeping.
Come. I don't feel pay 300, make you sleep.
Hey, bros, wake up.
Wake up, Ugbo.
Do you imagine say this kid job?
I go pay 300. I pay 300, lion they sleep. Lion, will you wake up?
I have pay money to come and watch you, and you'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
You get. And I've got to learn that the place was given to a private individual to run for years. And if you go there, you can tell that, okay, this person is making money from this place, but he's not actually putting money back in this place. Because I can tell you now, not just for me, we pay money for the animals to see us.
Not for you to.
Yeah, because if you go there once or twice, you'll be familiar with the animal.
Okay.
There are few.
Don't go near the lion and say you're familiar with the lion.
There are few, you've seen all of them.
Yes.
Count the amount of animals in that place.
Yes.
So I don't know what's the state government doing to push whoever is currently in charge to please invest more in the place. So that's what I want to know.
Okay. So Ogbazu is our own concern. You're definitely right, but it's on lease. Yeah. Okay. So the government is not shouldn't actually be in business.
True.
Yeah. So, but we must create the enabling environment for businesses to thrive as government. So that has been on lease, and it's unfair to say that it's not doing enough. You know why? I was just there on
for National Tourism Day.
National Tourism Day, which was 2 days back. Yes, so I was there, and I tell you, it's not where it was when we were younger and we used to go to Ogbazu, but I think we must give some credit to the private investor who took it up based on his own passion to say, let me even continue to look after this space. Okay, so a lot of work has happened from, I think, maybe the last 5 years, but there's still a lot to be done. But also when it comes to issues like that, there is the NPDC is actually the government parastatal that has the responsibility for our zoos and parks. So they are just across from them on the road there, and that's one of the things that has hindered progress there. They should be supporting, but where they fail, that's when the state now steps in things like that. So if Ogba Zoo is one of the 2 surviving zoos in Nigeria right now, and it's actually the best zoo in Nigeria right now, the Ogba Zoo.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. So we went there, and I have to just praise his efforts, really. It's not an easy thing to do, but somehow he's managed to keep it running. They've done a bit of maintenance around there, and they cannot actually acquire more animals because there's an embargo on that all over. It's a global embargo. So what you see there is there could be exchange. Maybe another zoo in another part of the world and needs an animal that you have, you identify. It's like a trade by barter kind of arrangement now. So that's why you don't see a wide variety of animals there, species in that space. But what the focus, you see, we took the World Tourism Day. This year's theme was around green investment. Okay, so what your Ogba Zoo is actually focusing on right now is a botanical and a zoological garden arrangement.
Yes, because the zoo has a reserve attached.
Yes, it does.
There's a river too.
Yes.
So there's a lot of things going on
in there. So they are actually focusing more on that. That's perhaps why you don't see a lot of animals there right now. And part of our discussions around that, in fact, the reason why we took it there was to promote our heritage and one of our tourist attractions in this part of Nigeria. That's why it was a deliberate decision to have the World Tourism Day in our own Ogba Zoo, surrounded by all the green environment and all of that. And we're asking people to come see what they could be investing in. There's a lot of green ideas that generated out of our talks around our heritage policy, because we actually took the advantage of bringing our heritage policy to a much larger audience of stakeholders, so that they could have an impact in what we are doing in our heritage space as well. So all of that happened there that day. The state government is also is part of the sites that have been, that's listed about for investments to attract investment into, is one of them. So we have a list of them. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned that there's an agency now that handles the policy arrangement for
tourism. Yes.
And then our heritage sites.
Yes.
So I don't know, are there plans for communities like Uvoton?
Of course.
Gele,
yeah.
Because there are a lot of.
Yeah, they are all listed.
There.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they're all listed. So what we've done is we first, how do you even begin to talk about putting a policy in place if you cannot identify what you actually have in the tourism space or in the heritage space? So what we did is to update our own database of all the tourist attractions and heritage sites in Edo. Okay, so we did that first of all, and then we have that updated database of them now, and that's what the tourism agency is working off.
Okay. Something else, aside, as if you are a family man, a family person, Edo State now taking care of your kids and growing up, you discover that aside Ogba Zoo, there's no other place you can actually take your kids to in Benin. Let me not even mention other parts of Edo State.
Yeah.
So are there plans to attract investors into building parks, water parks, amusement, roller coaster rides? We need those kind of things. I don't know. Are there plans for it?
Yes, so that's we have another department that looks at, I think there's an agency now, actually, Parks and Gardens. So they're actually looking at that now. And I was talking with the Commissioner for Environment yesterday, and he mentioned a lot of these things that are happening in the next couple of months.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. So they're at advanced stage in those discussions.
Okay. Thank you. This very next question, we'll talk about Pidgin English. So we'll leave audio Igbo and the grammar for one side.
Okay.
This very question now is about the Benin Royal Museum.
Okay.
So I want to know government plan with the palace, because during presentation of this year's budget, I hear when the governor say they'll be donating 2 billion naira to the Benin Royal Museum, then 1 billion to the Benin Cultural District. So I want to know, is that plan still on? The government still they donate that money to build the Benin Royal Museum?
When we first start, you don't mention Royal now, so you never even talk. Say me we talk Oba Atokwe before.
Okay. Oba
That one how you
Atokwe.
supposed to take the start. Zadi of Benin. How you know we say Oba Atokwe? Oba Atokwe.
Oba Atokwe
He said yes. So you see, anything we get to do with Benin Royal Museum, that one na the exclusive decision of our Royal Majesty, our father. So not be waiting. Somebody like me, I too small to talk about those kind of things. But if you get to do with royal, anything we get to do with royal for Benin, just know say now palace and our Oba might be the best person to answer that question. So not be something where small picking like me supposed to talk food at all.
No, but this one on the government side now.
Yeah, so if government say he go
government.
do am, if government say he go do am, that means he don't dey there and he go do am. Governor not they talk with him, not they do.
Okay, we'll leave that one now. That one now between governor.
Yes, those I be small picking for where they be.
Okay, so I want to talk about this whole artifact
Yes.
matter. Now, our museum, the Benin Royal Museum,
Yes.
this artifact will date there too. I want to know what will be the arrangement of the returned artifact and where they want it.
Zedi, you know, say if you dey talk about artifacts, that one a national treasure. So not be state they handle those things. So
Okay.
we not even. That's why when they talk all these artifacts, there, they wonder. Say not be we even get. Not be we supposed to talk for that space. Anything with the artifact na national treasure. So now national they handle those kind of things. Not be state government concern at all.
The last president will just come also.
Yes.
He signed gazette.
Yes.
Say now Oba and the palace will control the artifact. But what thing they want ask now? What
Okay.
bad now? This Mowa Museum.
Yes.
What you want the inside?
Okay, so you see, say I tell you, say this MOA go address sub-Saharan Africa. The thing be say, even museums where they outside Nigeria, don't already they approach us, say okay, they go like to come keep something for them. So this thing I just not be saying now by force, say now one group of people must put anything there. No. So if they want come, be like say if you go British Museum now, you'll see some of our own things for there. And now some museums still they work.
No,
but
those British show like Colombia.
the Colombian, but some also they not only our things they did. We they hear around because our things they did with the thief from us. Maybe we call now the thief one, thief the thief. So that one if you now space will be say anybody you feel now see say you find one notebook for the house where don't stay how many thousand years where you say this thing when time reach I fit sell am for high price for eBay may I preserve am so you fit carry that country come say abeg una get space so the facility dey there if you wan come rent you fit rent but they no dey force anybody to keep anything there so again if you talk about museums and all of these kind of things for abroad, you'll see say sometimes different museums they around one area. I mean, if you go even UK, you'll see say they get different kind of museum. They get War Museum, they get Museum of British Royal, they get Museum of even dress where people act Madame Tussauds now. They model different superstars. Nine day that museum, different wax museum, different things. Nine be museum. What you want keep for there. So sometimes when you go some places, you'll see say they get like 4 or 5 museums for the same area. So the fact say MOA they not mean say National Museum they cultural district too. So Benin Royal Museum they cultural district. Mowade cultural district, different other ones fit still come later. You now fit say you want to dey keep all the agbada wey you take do all this na it go be your own reason wey you wan get museum. Everybody get e own. Na investment o.
True.
Na investment. So make we not look am like say we just dey keep, and na big investment all over the world. So people go dey do different things for there. So different museum fit dey there, na the same district. But the beauty of it for us for Edo be say e dey our sacred area. E dey right in the middle of town. E be like you touch down for airport, you go museum, you know. And the thing wey we wan do now, we want to do that traffic thing when I talk about before, go also make am so easy so that you see how you go some places now, you see tourists just hang back, just dey waka around. That's what we wan do that whole space. By the time we start to dey talk about am now, people go understand more wetin.
But I hope say your ministry dey work with Ministry of Road and Bridges, because e no go nice say tourists come because they jam pothole, because they jam bad road. They spoil name.
Na pothole and bad road. See, may I tell you, for this government, no MDA, ministry, department or agency dey work alone. We no dey do silo work.
Na dey collabo.
Anything now I mention just now, say me and Commissioner for Environment. I don mention security. Now me and Security and Public Safety go do that one. We don mention road agency dey for road traffic. Yeah. So anything wey we dey do, we go sit down as group, first think am how we wan take do am before we even come bring am. And that's why we no dey just una ask us some kind of question, we no dey just tell una like that, because we never think am finish, and we need to show una wetin we know say go work. So na so we take dey work. Yesterday, you sef, you no ask me say now people dey complain say no flight dey come Benin, no flight dey come Benin. So some airlines now they don stop to dey come Benin. So the people wey dey travel for Benin, most times they not even dey see seat for plane. All of that don make the price of tickets go up. So yesterday, only yesterday, we come think that one, say look, this one a problem. We don dey talk at the comms, now we say, oh yeah, we need to sit down with these people wey dey fan. Wetin dey happen? Now inside this government, under 3 months, we bring how many 3 airlines come Benin. Wetin come dey happen now? Where everybody dey go? We come sit down with them. For that meeting, we be like 4 different agencies wey sit down. Environment, public safety and security, power, even roads and bridges, arts and culture, because of tourism. All of us sit down. We meet with the whole management. So right now we don't understand what be the problem. Now from there, if you never reach the root cause, you're not going to know how to address problems. So now from there, now we'll come say, okay, now this one be the problem. Ministry of Communication come help us tell our people, say, see what they happen. See what the government they do. See what we want me now do as citizens. May all of us shout, say government, federal government, aviation dey under now. How we want to work out this one. But very good for us now. We get people where they the aviation space where also they passionate about their work. So now all of us they work together now, and we are very positive. Say in a short time, government will do the one way feed do, and all of these things going go better.
Thank you. This very last question now.
Every time you say na last question.
This one I promise this one be the last one. Okay. This last question now about Edo Fest, Edo Festival for Arts and Culture.
Yes, yeah.
So I bet you tell us when it will happen and waiting be the plan around.
Okay, so we dey look at to be between the 1st and 2nd week in December. Because we get calendar of things wey wan happen for Edo. That one na one of the calendars wey we'll bring out, say, and see what will happen from December to January for Benin. We'll show all of una so that we'll see different activities wey go dey happen for Edo. The Edo Fest go happen between the 1st and 2nd week. You know wetin Edo Fest be, and just a festival where they celebrate us as Edo people, celebrate our art, our different dances, our festivals, different things. The beautiful art creations where we dey get for Edo go also come on board for that period. So a lot of these things, we don't do Edo Fest for how many years now? So every year we dey get better and better. That's why you see, I say this year we dey bring in all the fine and applied art people to bring all the pieces of woodworks, bronze work. We go carry and go first, go display for Lagos. Then we'll say, come, where this one for come, must still dey, Mona come see where they do, then come see how the process around which that they do, and then like that we'll do. And maybe the things that we do, there will be dances, there will be carnivals all around. It happen for December.
At schools, secondary schools and primary schools go dey.
Oh yes, they involved. Yes, everybody they involved. They get different things. So maybe we fit start first from our cultural clubs. We get culture clubs for our schools. From the culture club, showcase one or two things, teach them one or two dances. Now here, this ministry now also house the Edo Art Council. Now this ministry now again. So then they go schools, they get department where they handle that. They go school, they teach our children some dances. They teach how to cook our food, even language, all these kind of things. And they handle all those things. So they're involved.
So you say na first week of December.
First or second week. And you know, say we dey always anything we dey do for December, we must check with Palace, say no clash with anything to do with Igwe.
Okay. So this last question.
Hey. Thank you so much, Zaddy. Thank you. The work una dey do with the sign everywhere. I need to really praise una effort. Say young people like una just carry this kind of matter for. In addition, government they always they preach. So when we see our own Edo children just carry the matter for it, they make our belly sweet well. And governor, if he know the anything we get to do with the Edo youth, they use a joke at all. So in the center of everything, they see what they do. They see all these things. You mentioned one time, say we know they charge entertainment.
Yes.
You know why we know they don't? He say no. If you charge them, they try to survive. If you can't charge them, they want to survive. You kill the industry. Say no. Leave them. Maybe we grow that space. May they come out. Maybe we see all this talent, creativity, display. Make people come. When they don't see now, if you say, oh, yeah, come, you can't give back. So now what they do for the state. Thank you.
So my people, thank you. This is all we have for today. Thank you very much.
Zaddy, don't take all my time today.
Thank you.